Hi. Hey. Hello. Sup? You thought we got rid of the stupid intros, didn't you? Well, no. We didn't. Anyways, come, sit, talk with me, come. Sit. So how about I sit here and then you just sit there and then we solve it. So the main thing is, many of you keep on asking me questions in the comment sections and I try to answer them. It's really hard to do it in the comment section. So I thought, okay, let me try and set up a Discord channel where you can post your comments, maybe post in a drawing, and then I can, whenever I have the time, do a quick sketch, reply with that sketch, or maybe a very quick video snippet if I have a time. So let's see how that will work. So I posted a Discord link down below for a channel that I just created. And I don't really know how Discord works, so we're going to be figuring this one out together. So be patient, give me some leeway here. And I thought, what better way to do this than to do what I love most, namely drawing robots. So let's learn to draw a robot. And just to emphasize, like, we already went through the basics, so hopefully if you saw my videos, you already know those. This is more about design. How do I think about design? How do I think about coming up with somewhat of an original, because nothing is original, but how do I come up with a new design for a robot? And for that, as I always say, let's start with a little bit of research and a little bit of referencing. So let's bring that Pinterest up. Here is Pinterest, and what I do, I just start clicking around randomly a little bit. But for example, this motorbike, I really like how it's drawn. So I'm gonna just keep on scrolling down. And at this point, I really don't know what exactly I wanna draw. I just know that we're drawing a robot, right? So I'm just scrolling a little bit through it until I find interesting things. So for example, this robot, a little bit too generic. This might be interesting. Oh, here, I like this shape. I always like that sort of robots. And I just open a couple on extra tabs and I will go back there within a minute. Okay, here, so this I really like. So I will probably go with something like this. So this is my main reference for now. Now I just want to find sort of, so I opened this because I like the style, but it's probably not going to be that because I don't want to do it digitally. I'm going to do it traditionally because the sun is out. So let me just come back here and see if this is interesting. So as you can see, I always try to combine, not so much. Okay, I want shapes. Let me structure this a little bit. I want spaceships, not interiors. I don't have it here. Okay, so spaceship concept. And let me see, because that also gives us a little bit of style and also interesting forms. So right now I'm looking for forms this is interesting. I like this quite a bit. This is cool. I could use this. I love boxy stuff, so I'm just gonna open that. And this is also the style that I'm probably going to go with because it's industrial designery. So usually I like to go towards spaceships. See, this is nice to use them as basis for my robots. Okay, so let me trim this down a little bit. I see this as the head of one of the EVA sort of robots. This is becoming less interesting now. Let me leave it open for just a second. I'll leave this for style guide because I'll stick with that. I think I did something, or I saw some four-legged robot with a top like this. So this is too easy, or it's something that I feel that is already there for sure. So maybe I shouldn't go with this. Is interesting. Let me see if I can incorporate this shape. And this was, okay, I'm just gonna close this now because I'm not going with that anymore. Basically what I'm looking for is what I'm putting on top of the legs here. As I said, this is an interesting shape. Like it's how can you incorporate that there? This is just for style guide. It's fun because okay, this is nice. I like that shape a lot. Yeah, I'm going to stop here. Let me open Photoshop. Let me switch over to my, this I'm going to take on a screen with me so I can look at this. Let me switch over to traditional drawing now. Let us get started with the basics, and that's a cheap marker. You don't need anything else, just a cheap marker, pencil, whatever you have. Don't worry about the tools. So I'm going to start, let's remember the fundamentals, which is I'm going to draw a cube, because based on this cube we can construct, well, not based on this cube, but this cube will give us sort of the shading details and lighting details for later on. So there we go, we have the nice cube. Now I am going to take two markers. Here we go, a lighter and a darker one. If you don't have two markers, you can just take a pencil and go in with it. So I'm going to take the light marker and going to go over this side with it a little bit. There we go, and I'm going to take the darker marker, there we go, and do this side. So now we know sun is, or a light source is somewhere up here and it hits it like this. So this is lighter, this is darker. All right, let's move on. Now, based on the image that we have, why did I draw this little cube? Because also what we talked about before, we have to know how to rotate this, and then you can go back to the previous videos. I don't need to show you again, you already know that because you were nice and you watched them. So I'm going to rotate this cube a little bit to make it more interesting for myself, just like this. And I don't much care about how accurate the lines are at this moment, because I am exploring and building and sculpting with lines, right? And what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw through all of these just to make the construction a little bit, well, not easier, but more understandable for me. Okay, so this is going to be sort of the body of my robot. It's sort of like a spider robot, so its legs are going to be here. For that, what I'm going to do, because I want the legs, right, to come out these ways. So we have the arrows here, I'm not going to draw there. So which means that I'm going to need some sort of hinge or connection there. So I'm going to draw underneath the body, not a box, but sort of like, is it a pentagon? No, it's not a pentagon, it's an octagon. Yep, exactly, it is a octagon. There we go. And then I'm going to give it some depth. Well, not depth, but maybe thickness, you can say. In this case, there we go. And I'm drawing this because onto these sides where these arrows come out, I will add cylinders. So a cylinder comes here, right? There we go. And then we can do the axis as well if it works better for you with axis. Here the cylinder is almost facing us, but I'm going to turn it just a little bit away. Oh, sorry if I went out of the camera there. And then here, cylinder is going slightly away from us. And then to these cylinders we will have the legs attached. And then for the legs right now I'm just going to draw in, well, not cubes, but these boxes as well. So there's one. It goes a little bit like this, follow that cylinder, right? And then we're gonna have another box here. There we go. Follow that line there, close it up, and then another one here. Just going nicely with that arrow. I'm following also the lines of the cylinder, so I know where to start and end. There we go. So this is why I'm saying it's important to learn how to rotate all of these things in 3D space. And this one, obviously, I'm not going to draw because the body is sort of hiding it. And then from here on, it's really a lot of sculpting and taking things apart. So if we look at the image of the Lego robot, it had like thicker forelegs here, and I'm not going to completely copy. Right now, as I said, I just want to see some, let me draw through it a little bit. I want to see some basic shapes. I want to see the elements that my robot is going to be built of. There. So now we have the front parts of the leg, then these will come somewhere here. I bring them down just a little bit here as well. Let's bring this down. There we go. Now, back leg is, as I said, not important. Now, for the main body, this is where that spaceship comes in. That I said, okay, that looks interesting with its octagonal thing. So we already have this octagon here, but I'm not going to work on that. First, I'm going to cut this because I want it to be a bit, what's the word? Well, not straight. I want it to have this slide to it, as you can see. And now on this one I will construct my octagon again. And it doesn't have to be an octagon, so you don't have to follow it. I'm just going to cut in here and here. Let's see how that works. There you go. So some of the lines almost are the same as you can see here. And I'm gonna bring it down, and it doesn't matter what really happens there, but I want a little bit of coming to the front here, because I like, if you look at the image, I will obviously blend it in so you can see it. It has this thing in the front that I like. All right, so we have this, and it's a little bit elevated, but I don't worry about now. Now we can, in the back, it has this thing as well, almost like a spider's back. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the other ship that I like, the top one, and it has those two things. Well, it looks like, I don't know, it's not guns, but it could be whatever. I just find it to be a really cool element. And I'm going to replace the spaceship's back part. It looks like a lot of cargo ports on the original spaceship with these two things. I'm going to put them more apart from each other. And as you can see, I accidentally went into drawing and designing instead of just putting in blocks. So let me go back and put in those blocks already. There we go. And now, on top of it, it's this interesting shape that I like. Let me draw it here aside. It goes a little bit like this, a little bit like this. It can be thinner down there and goes like there, a bit thicker there and goes there. All right. Let me turn this. I think it was something. Let me take another look. It looked a little bit like this. It was just a bit thinner there, but that doesn't matter because I care this. This reminds me of a head of an EVA unit. So if I turn this to face off, and then this would be its center line. Let's say here you would see something like this, and then maybe it can taper, and then taper up until here, and then we have some tapering there as well, and it could have eyes or whatever there. So it would be something like that. Now this is hard to draw in 3D, so instead I'm just going to put it into a simple shape, something like this, because then there we can sculpt whatever we need in there. But for now a shape like this will work. So for that I'm just going to find the center of this octagon that we did, and then I can also just continue up in the cube. So here it can get a little bit confusing if you don't pay attention from the beginning, but now that I have these centers, I'm just going to double that line, go quite a bit higher. I want this head to be quite a bit bigger than what we have already there, and now I can just follow these lines and come up till here, and now I know that this has to go along with the lines of the cube that I put down in the beginning. I can also draw through here, so we can see that there. So this is sort of going to be my robot. It is looking a little bit similar, but when the detailing comes in, then you're going to see the differences. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take my dark marker, which is here, and I'm going to make sure to add shadow on all the areas where shadows come. Now this part is really just you creating this in a little bit in 3D for yourself, so you understand how the shapes are. And we will come in later. Actually, we will come in again on a different run, and we will make sure to add in all the detail. But right now, we don't need that much detail. We just need to clarify this shape for ourselves a little bit. So what you can do is, and then we have this here as well, and a little bit in there as well. And I feel like that's pretty much it. And then I can see that here I forgot to add this inner part of the leg, of course. Not a problem. And I'm going to come with my lighter marker, which is this one, and just do the front a little bit. There we go. These areas, not the top I will leave white, but these frontal areas can be light gray. What I'm also going to do, I'm just gonna go over it. Actually, let me get, no, I'm just gonna over it a couple of times. Now what I forgot here, or what you can add, is that we will have a shadow here, obviously, so we can put the same dark on that one as well. And then, as I said, you can do this with a pencil, just give it some cross-hatching, and I would like to have it a bit more dark. So I'm gonna draw over it again, just nicely covering everything, trying to make it a little bit darker fit. So it also has a better read if I work a little bit more on this value here, bringing it more towards the dark, and then also in the main body. There we go. No detailing yet. I just want to have a silhouette or a shape that I can sort of read. And there we go. That's our robot. And from here on, next time we're going to redraw this, and then we're going to add a lot more detail. But if you would like to draw along, and if you would like to learn as well, I would like to see something like this from you posted in the Discord channel as well. There's going to be a channel for it, specifically for this challenge. You don't have to, but if you want to get some feedback, or if you want to learn how to draw robots, as the title of this video says, well, yeah, jump in there. And I don't want to see necessarily a four-legged spider, but like this. It can also be something like a little bit a different one, a blocky one that's standing, or whatever. Like, the idea is that you also go on Pinterest, you look around, and you find yourself something that you like, and you break it down, and then you combine it with something. And you don't have to combine it with a spaceship. You can combine it with whatever that is interesting for you. For whenever you see interesting shapes, just draw that. And I want to see something like this if you want to participate in this challenge. And also, if you don't have markers, or you don't want to do it with a pencil, you can also just give it a simple cross-hatching. But what's important is that you draw through these shapes that you understand, because the more you draw something like this, the more you understand how to rotate these shapes in 3D space, and then the detailing and the things that actually makes it sexy and nice, that can come later. And with that, let's stop here. Let's not overcomplicate things, shall we? So how about you sexy folks do this exercise, pick yourself some nice reference and create a cute little robot using nothing but boxes and cylinders. And then paste that sucker into my Discord channel if you want to, and we can discuss from there on. You'll know all the stuff with subscribing and hitting the bell icon, following me on Instagram for more drawing related stuff. So how about you just get cracking, and see you next time. Bye bye.